Okay guys, I have 6 charts showing me that we're going to have a major move on December 13th. So just a couple weeks away. I've been talking about this chart for a while. We're going to cover this in just a bit. This was a video I put out, guys. I've been telling you I can predict black swan events. This was September 6th. I've been talking about these charts, back in August, even further back, saying we hit this red ring. This would be the trigger for a black swan event. This is further in the video. This was another chart I was using to predict the next black swan event, this ring here. This is a published version of this chart. This is a point right here, so we hit this ring and move down it. You can see so far that's what happened. We hit this point, we got rejected. We're going to cover this chart as well. Guys, you all know about this new COVID variant that came out. I'm going to play a clip of this video for you.
People in South Africa, but these scientists believe existing vaccines will protect against serious illness and hospitalizations. They'll have those answers in less than 10 days.
So in about 10 days, you can have more information about this new COVID variant. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's a bigger deal than some think. We'll have to find out. This is a video talking about Jerome Powell, the Fed chair. Let me play a clip of this for you.
We look forward to that testimony tomorrow. But the next meeting is what? Middle of December?
Middle of December. They have a couple weeks, Wilf, to sort of get more data on this variant. But I have to say, I thought he would be a little more circumspect, and the idea that a lot of economists said over the weekend that perhaps the Fed would not go to a faster taper in December, the idea that he sees a new variant and greater virus concerns as potentially inflationary maybe changes that calculus a little bit right now.
So as you can see, there's going to be a meeting, another speech by Jerome Powell, and Powell has already started tapering off the free money. And there's a possibility to start raising interest rates. And we all know what happened last time interest rates were raised. We had a stock market correction or a crash. So you can see here, again, just seeing how much confluence and what else is going to take place on December 13th and what my charts show. It is just amazing. It is uncanny. In his testimony, Powell said we're actually, at our next meeting in a couple of weeks, going to have a discussion about accelerating the taper by a few months. So they're talking about tapering off this free money sooner and, maybe possibly raising interest rates, which could be bad for not only, again, the stock market, for sure, but remember, Bitcoin follows U.S. markets. So if we have a crash in the stock market, Bitcoin's going to follow suit. So again, the last video I put up, it was a long video, so I'm just going to summarize this really quick. So this is the G1 chart. Look, we've been respecting this white ring, this white flip circle very well. Notice that when we broke this white ring, we dropped down to the next white ring as support, right? And we're about to cross this white ring here. This vertical red line is December 13th. When we cross this point, we could have a drop down to the next ring. That's typically what happens. When you drop from ring to ring. So if we drop, we would drop down to this ring. So this would be the next target to watch on the G1 chart. This is the Dow Jones chart. Again, as I said, I expect us to continue to move down this green ring. You can already see the MACD is way overextended. This is on the monthly, by the way. So I'm expecting us to continue to move down this ring, and this would be your next major support for the Dow Jones. Again, December 13th. This is another Dow Jones chart, guys. I've been talking about black swan events right here. Notice this. You can see this yellow line right here. This was our support. Once we crossed this red ring underneath this orange ring, that's when we had a crash, right? So this was our COVID crash right here. Notice we bottomed right here. But if you'll notice, we moved up this support right here. Support, 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 support. Finally, we broke below it, came up, tested resistance. We found support on this orange ring. We pushed up. We crossed this red ring, and then we came back down and found support on this red ring. So what I'm getting at, I've been telling you, this next ring was going to be a black swan event. This vertical red line is December 13th. Just like here, when we crossed this fib channel line, we had a drop all the way down. Once we cross this fib channel line, right, now we're moving to this next fib channel line, the one we bottomed on. So if we come down and then we break this fib channel line, we're going to have a drop down to at least the next fib channel line, possibly this point right here. These rings will be your support, just like you found support here. You found support here, resistance, resistance. I'm telling you, when we drop, your next target to watch on this chart is going to be right here. This is the Dow Jones chart, so it's possibly something like this. And then this is when it comes down. So again, this is another chart showing possibly we have a major correction that would start on December 13th. The DXY, I talked about this chart in the last video. When we're respecting a fib circle, you notice we moved right up this ring. We're at the apex now. So typically what happens, you can see when we pushed up from this ring, we topped out at this ring and then came down. So when we break this apex right here, again, vertical red line, December 13th, it's possible the DXY could push all the way up to this point. If it does, that would be bearish for the markets. That would be bearish for Bitcoin. If the dollar's pushing up, that means smart money's jumping out of the U.S. markets, jumping out of Bitcoin. They're jumping into the U.S. dollar as a hedge. The volatility index. Guys, I talked about this in the past. This was a COVID crash right here. You can see the volatility index, when it pushes up, that's bearish for markets. That means we could have a drop. When the volatility index pushed up to this point, that's when we bottomed. When the U.S. stock market had a crash, we bottomed when the volatility index got to this point. So I'm telling you, it's possible. You can see where every time we cross the blue ring, we push up. Cross blue ring, push up. Cross blue ring, push up. You can see how steep we're pushing up right now. Vertical red line is December 13th. Up here would be your resistance. I'm calling this possibly COVID 2.0. Again, if the VIX continues up, this would be bearish for markets, bearish for Bitcoin. Another chart, guys. I've covered this chart in detail. One more time, this is back on 20th of March 2019. This is where we pumped from. We pushed up. We got caught in this head and shoulders. We broke this head and shoulders. We got caught in this channel. We crossed this ring. We dropped down to support. This next ring, we crossed it. We had to drop down to the point we pumped from back in March 2019. I'm telling you the exact same thing. Looks like it's playing out now. This is where we pumped back in October 2020. We got caught in this head and shoulders. We broke down. We moved up this channel. We crossed this ring. We dropped to support. This next ring we just happened to cross when? That's right, December 13th, which could bring us all the way back down to support where we pumped from back in October. So again, guys, a lot of confluence showing that something major is going to happen on December 13th. Might be the ideal point to short everything. And guys, you might say, well, how do I know you can predict moves? So let me show you. Look, this was a chart I put out on June 24th, 2019. I was saying ring capitulation, when we cross this point, we would crash. Look what happened. Not only did it tell you the point to get out, next ring we rode up it. We dropped, next ring we rode up it. Right here. I can predict tops, guys. I told you 65K when we pushed out would be the top. This orange ring right here. This is published on November 14, 2020. I've hit play. You see what happened? We pushed up. We hit this point twice and got rejected. Not only calling tops, calling bottoms. Notice how well price is respecting this red fib circle. When Bitcoin was crashing, and notice when we were coming down, I said this was likely a point. I made a tweet about this. The point to buy in was probably this red ring. Look what happened. Perfect support right on that red ring. So not only was I calling tops, I was calling bottoms. We all bought in here and rode it up. Right here, the stock market. I was saying that when we cross this ring, we would potentially, this is Dow Jones, that we potentially come down to 27,500 down to 26,000 late February 2020. You can see how this played out. We hit my targets, but we ended up actually crashing, so predicted that move. Right here, this is Bitcoin. We cross yellow ring, drop, cross yellow ring, drop, cross yellow ring, drop. So it made sense. We crossed this yellow ring, we dropped. Look what happened. We dropped. And this was published on February 19, 2020. And this is DXY chart. And notice right here, we moved up this orange ring, we crossed it, we dropped. So it made sense. What would happen in the next ring? You move up the orange ring, when you cross it, you drop. Look what happened. So again, guys, these charts allow you to not only predict tops and bottoms, but to predict moves way in advance, and as well as black swan events. So again, with all the stuff I'm showing you, pay attention. Something major is going to start on December 13th. And guys, if you want to access these charts, website's opticalcrypto.com. Link will be pinned to the first comment in the description. And I do have tutorials if you want to learn how to create these charts for yourself. Guys, that's it. Till the next video, trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.